Bum, 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 bum.
Three.
You know what that is, Vapi Chulo?
That's when you win the Super Mario level.
Oh, very close. Final Fantasy.
Oh, god damn! Early, got it wrong early.
Yeah, victory and fanfare.
Hmm.
You don't? Is there any music for Mario levels that you win?
Yeah. That's what I thought it was, but it wasn't.
No, you got to get your hearing checked.
No, bro, that's what it is with Super Mario. When you get the stage in Super Mario World and you hit the little, it's like this. It has the little bar, and you have to jump on the bar to get extra points. That's what it is. Hold on, we
Oh,
about to get
that sounds like a weekend of yours, jumping on the bar to get some extra
jumping on the bar to get it. Yo, that sounds like you trying to get cereal in the morning.
No, I can reach. That's you're telling me your childhood memories now.
Oh man, I'm trying to. I'm gonna get the soundtrack. I'm gonna get the
All right.
soundtrack
Well,
for it.
while Vapi Chulo gets the soundtrack, welcome everyone to the Horn Playing Podcast.
There goes three. That's the super. That's the super old school one.
Yes, super old school. Today we got a mix of old school and new school. What are we talking about today, Vapi Chulo?
We're talking about Bam, our favorite video game characters. Another Bam, highest grossing video game franchises of all time, and the third Bam, most sold video game units.
There we go. So many BAMs. You think you're Emerald Lagasse?
Bam, bam, bam. I don't even get that reference. I don't even know who that is.
He was a chef. He would always used to throw in his seasonings, and he would go bam.
I like that. I like that.
You know,
He
before
was,
your time, I guess.
He was Salt Bay before Salt Bay.
Oh yeah, like maybe like 15 years before.
Yo, if you was a chef, or no, you don't even need to be a chef. When you be in the kitchen and you be ready to season, or you about to put the garnish, you about to put the garnish on your dish. What would be your go-to thing to say? I got
you
mine.
know what
I got mine.
You know what I well tell me yours, and then I'll tell you what I would do because it's not it's a little different.
So listen, when I cook, bro, it's real sensual. It's real sexy. You feel me? Like I really put a lot of love into making my food. So when I go with the cracked pepper or the sazon, it's ooh papi. That's mine. That's my drop when I cook.
What? I don't believe you. There's no way that you've entertained someone, you've cooked for them, and you grab some seasonings. It's like, ooh, pop. Then she would just turn around and leave.
Bro,
She's like,
if you talk to anybody who operates with me, they will tell you that is not far fetched. Like they would be like, "Fam, he does that when I ask for like a fork. He give me the fork. Ooh, papi." Like that's something Vapi Chulo would do on the regular. Like that is not abnormal.
Hey, that explains a lot.
All right, when we do the cooking channel, when we get the cooking channel popping, I'm telling you that drop for chopping onions. Ooh, papi. Sauteing anything in the pan. Ooh, papi. Are you ready?
I wasn't ready for that.
What would be yours?
I would get all my seasonings together in my hand.
Uh-huh.
And then I would come to the side and I'll blow it through my hand like a dragon.
Like a... But wait, what
like
so you wouldn't say anything, you would just do that action?
Yeah, like
that's kind of
you know how the salt guy, he does the little salt thing.
Uh-huh.
It's like when the food is cooking, I blow the seasonings on it.
That's kind of fly, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. You ever seen wrestling growing up?
Bits and pieces.
Have you ever seen Goldberg come out in the smoke and then he does the dragon nostril joint?
I think.
Hold on, I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it on the screen because when you said that, all I thought about was like you. Oh, with the Goldberg entrance. Wait, while I get this together, when you're finishing your dish, what
When,
song would you want playing?
when they're finishing the dish,
Yeah, when you're garnishing and putting the final spices on there, before like as you're revving up your dragon breath of spices, what would be the song that you want to play in the background?
you know what I would do?
What would you do?
Just to be extra,
Uh huh.
I would play Claire de Lune.
Okay. Okay. Bro, look at this. So this is what you made me think of.
Okay.
So envision yourself cooking and putting the spices with this song, right? With this
Uh,
beat, you about to see the dragon breath. Hey. This is Goldberg entrance music. Hey, hey, ooh, Papi.
that'd be hilarious. I just came out shirtless.
Oh shit, bro, with some spices, yo, you would be Latino salt bae, but sazon, yo, you would be sazon bae, bro. You would be.
No, I came up with it. I think very shortly after Salt Bay came out.
Oh
I,
man,
I was cooking some food. I took a picture for the gram. Senor Sasson.
I like that. Oh, that's your superhero name.
That'd be my celebrity chef name.
That's hilarious, Senor Sasson. But you see, if you know what, actually, that's cool. Cause I'm thinking about your Senor Sasson superhero, and I'm thinking that your final move is the flamethrower of spice, and I like that. They should make a comic. They should make a comic after you, bro.
You know what it'd be like?
What would it be like?
I have a big, like a massive packet of Sasson,
Hmm.
and it holds all of the Sasson, and I could use it like Gara uses the sand.
Oh my! That is funny.
I hit him with like Sasson spikes.
That is funny. Yo, we need to do a cooking battle, bro. I'm telling you, when we do all of, because every kind of like domestic challenge, we need a domestic esque challenge for every physical activity challenge that we do in the future. Because of your sheer size, you probably dominate over there. But let me tell you something. I don't think you could make better rice and beans than me, bro. I don't think you could make a better dish than me.
I can
You
because
think so,
I know it.
bro? You grew up in Ohio.
Yeah, I grew up in Ohio, learning to cook from my Puerto Rican grandma and mom.
What do they
Also,
call? What do they
in
call?
Ohio, where I lived, there was a high concentration of Italians, Polish, Ukrainians, Greeks. There was all kinds of ethnic food growing up.
What do you call? Because this. I'm testing your Latino in this right now.
Okay.
Because cooking is not just you just gotta know. You just gotta know everything. Well, not everything. You just gotta know the basics though. What is a metal pot called in Spanish that you put the
Oh,
rice in?
oh yeah.
Okay, you got it. You got it.
I know how I'm gonna beat you
How are you gonna beat me?
cooking meat.
Listen, but the thing with Latin cuisine is that if you think about the most traditional of dishes, they don't really require meat like that. You got your
Oh,
arroz and habichuela. You got your or frijoles, right? You got your tostones, your mango, anything with a plantain. They use a lot of cebolla. Oh, you put the vinegar in the cebolla, and it'll come out real nice and light purple. Um, like
Papi
there's
Chulo.
what?
I gotta cut you short right there.
How so?
Thank you for naming all the sides.
Okay. That's, they're
How you
intricate parts of the dish, bro. I wouldn't even
how,
call
how,
them sides.
how you conveniently forgot arroz con pollo, pernil, beefsteak,
Nah, but bro, that's
empanadas, pastelillos.
bro. But like in its true form, bro, Latin cuisine is about like making stuff delicious and flavorful from stuff that comes from the dirt. That's really what Latin cuisine is all about. That's what more of these Caribbean places, like it's all about what you can get on a tree, because they don't have the resources to just like
Yeah, but they have
slaughter a
fish.
cow every single. Yeah, no, but that's a whole.
Mo-
But there's not really a real famous Latin dish with fish. When you think of
Mofongo with shrimp.
Yes, no, but what I'm saying is that's not the top. When people who are not embedded in Latin cuisine culture, Latin culture, period, Caribbean culture, they don't go with that shrimp, that salmon, that halibut, that no, like they
Red
go
snapper.
straight. The red snapper, that's yeah, that's more Jamaican than anything else. But anyways, like they go straight to the rice, beans, and the plantains. That's
Yo,
Mother
blood
Earth.
sausage.
Blood sausage.
Morcillos.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, bro, those used to be so good. Yo, I never like growing up. I was like, yo, why is it that I only eat this during like Thanksgiving? Like,
Uh,
where in the block does this be? And then I learned that the chuki fritos exist, and I was like, yo, y'all sell this every day for cheap because it was never really expensive,
oh yeah, chicharrones.
bro. Man,
I'm sorry,
chicharron,
man.
chicharron de pollo. Yeah,
There's too many. There's
yeah.
way too many meat dishes. You just played yourself.
All right, bro. I think I still would. All I have to do is a real good mofongo, and I have to highlight because I beat you in corniness delivery. You will never touch me with anything that is like poetic or corny. So I would be like, I wanted to take it back to my Latino roots. And when I went to DR the last time, I just remembered the trees and the lay of the land. And so I wanted to really, with my dish, I really wanted to highlight the essence of what I feel it is to grow up in a Caribbean island. And so here I got the plantains, I like the mountain, like mount, and then this is what I like because I don't know the names of any of the mountains. I'll be like, oh, and this remind. I put the mofongo into a cup to look like a mountain after Don Julio's mountain in El Campo. Because there's not gonna be any Caribbean judges, so nobody gonna fact check me. So it's like the mountain de Don Julio, and then around it I have this cebolla. I set it there with vinegar. It's a light purple because I don't know why I turned Mexican all of a sudden, but it's a light purple, Holmes. And like you will never beat me in introducing anything, bro.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm gonna do.
What are you gonna
Because right now I got prep time.
do? Yep.
I'm gonna get I'm gonna get buff.
Oh, here we go.
I'm just gonna come out. I'm gonna let my hair down.
Okay.
I'm gonna carry it in on my shoulders.
Yo, you're gonna wait a plate? You're gonna carry a
No.
plate on you?
I'm gonna have the penne cooked, the full pig. I'm gonna have them sit down at a little stone table in front of me. I'm gonna
man.
throw it down, cut it up in front of them, and say, "Look, this is a throwback to the Tainos. This is what real men eat."
I like that, but I feel like that's cheating, bro. I don't because you never get to prep the dish like in front of the judges. I feel like you're doing the most.
You're gonna come out and take them on this lyrical journey.
That's true, bro. I'm with Maya Angelou, like the Dominican version of Maya Angelou. That's me when I deliver my dish.
Maya Angelito.
Yo, facts. Are you doing so in that then? Are you doing dragon breath? Your dragon spice breath when you carve the pernil for them?
Yep, I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna carve it up. I'm gonna be buff and shirtless, oiled up.
Yo, you're doing the most, bro.
I'm gonna cut it all up. I'm gonna have like the fire dancing type thing. I'm gonna get it all ready and then do the fire breath over the penne, and it's gonna rain down the seasonings on top of the dish.
Bro, you want to be on the cover of a romantic novel so bad, bro. That was a whole chat. That was chapter 7 of a romantic novel where the Jezebel is deciding whether she wants to cheat on her husband or not. For the new gardener, that's you, bro. You the new gardener that just so happens to know how to cook penne.
And I'm gonna cut it with a stone knife.
Bro, oh my god. Yo, your talents, as far as like you just looking big and having long hair, is going to waste if you do not get a role in a TV show or a movie. I just need you. Listen, I need you to be one of the voice actors for Moana 2. Is all I'm saying. All I'm saying is when the first Native American or the Taino movie come out or the comic, there needs to be a character that looks like you. Or you need to voice them, or you need to be in a TV show or a movie.
And I gotta contact the Rock for me and say, hey, there's island people in the
There's
Atlantic. We're not as popular as the island people from the Pacific over there.
Bro, because all we have to do is give you spray paint the Samoan tattoos, and that's it. You fit in right in.
Yeah.
All right, enough. Moral of the segment is that Vapi Chulo would beat Rico Grande in the cooking competition. That's all I got from that discussion.
I don't know. I think we could let people decide which scenario they would want to play out.
All right, so
you'd be like a bard, like a 5'4" guy coming out.
You said a bard?
Yeah. You come out with like a little your little guitar. Tell them a tale of how you had to climb up the tree to get the seasonings.
Disrespectful. All right, listen. Let's transition to the video, our favorite video game characters, and I want to start it off with Kirby. And
you would
also fitting because I'm built like Kirby. Shut up! I beat you to the joke. I beat you.
Close. It's because you like to swallow.
Whoa! This is a PG podcast. PG pop. Whoa! Pause. That's gonna have to be the first drop now. Damn, that's how I power up. Yo, you nasty. You nasty. Anyway,
I told you I had it. I told you I had the joke.
That's what you had in the tuck? I didn't know you was going to have that. I thought it was just going to be your average height jokes that he went straight for it. He went straight for the jugular. Damn. How you going to do me like that, man? All right. So, he said you get your superpowers from Oh, man. When I see you, I'm going to hit you with this frying pan like Kirby. Remember that. All right. What can I say about Kirby other than Kirby low-key? If you don't know the lore of Kirby, Kirby is OP. I remember seeing the death battle. It was Kirby versus, I think, Kid Buu. And we had Kid Buu winning for sure. Kid Buu was a monster. And then they broke it down and they were like, yo, Kirby inside his stomach got a parallel universe and a galaxy with 18 suns and moons. And I was like, excuse me? But aside from that, I remember playing Nightmare on Dreamland on the Game Boy Advance, and that game was a lot of fun. Kirby is also one of my favorite characters to play on Smash. I always like the idea of the Kirby games because you inherit the power of the people that you eat, and so you would have Sword Kirby and you would have Freeze Kirby, Fire Kirby, and those are just really cool concepts in video games, and I like stuff like that. It makes you think more about how you handle the game, what power you want to take. So Kirby is going to be one of my favorite video game characters.
Nice. I played one Kirby game. I can't tell you the title. It was I believe Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
And it was very fun.
Do you remember the final boss?
No.
Okay, because I mean, the the main one that put people on, I think, would be Dreamland, Nightmare on Dreamland, because that game was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
That's a,
I don't think it was that.
you will remember it because that game was super cool. Because when you passed the game the first time, you got to play the game all over again, but as Meta Knight, and that was really cool.
Oh, I definitely didn't
Yeah,
play
because Meta Knight was super cool, and the villain for Nightmare in Dreamland, you were just remember, bro, because that villain, they had you fighting phase one, which was regular, but then you would have to jump on Kirby's star to fight to fight him. Uh, Let me see if I can pull it up. It looked kind of like this. This isn't the Game Boy Advance version of it, obviously,
Okay.
but the villain looked like that.
Yeah, no, I must have played something different.
But all right, what's your character? Give me your first one.
My very first character from my favorite video game of all time is Squall Lionheart from Final Fantasy VIII.
Ooh, tell me why while I bring this picture
It,
up.
it wasn't the first one I played, but it was just in terms of the storyline, it just ended up being my favorite Final Fantasy game that I've played. Now, most people, if you say, "Hey, what's your favorite Final Fantasy?" You're probably gonna get 7 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
Are probably the two most popular, and they're great. But to me, 8 was always my favorite.
It's young boy right here.
Yes,
Oh, he had the sun the gun sword.
Gunblade,
Yeah.
completely impractical. I mean,
Yeah.
even the way they explain it, like it's you hit him with the sword, and when you hit him with the sword, you pull the trigger,
But for what? That's a waste.
and it was supposed to like I don't know exactly how the mechanics of it worked, but he had in all the games, like eventually you could get like a super move,
Uh huh.
and with his, you it would go off, and you could keep on like pulling the trigger to make it stronger.
That's kind of cool.
It was broken. By the end of the game, it was absolutely ridiculous.
But he has a revolver. That joint is crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Favorite
cool.
character, favorite game, all time.
Why? Why your favorite game?
Um, I don't know. It's kind of one of those ones where when you play it, it's like one of the first ones that you play, so this kind of sticks with you, longer.
Mm-hmm. Copy.
Um, I like the combat system; it was pretty good. The summons, like the Final Fantasy games are known for summoning big creatures to help you out.
Uh huh.
They have different names in all the different games. In Final Fantasy VIII, they're called Guardian Forces.
Okay.
Uh, the story that was linked with them was pretty interesting. Like you could link it to yourself, but eventually you will lose your memories.
Mm-hmm.
So like all these people in the game had like teamed up, and they forgot that they had known each other because they grew up in an orphanage when they were kids.
Copy.
So
Cool.
it's the game story wise goes off the rails very very quickly. They fight like a time compressing witch.
Okay.
It's insane. But yeah, my favorite game, favorite character.
Nice. All right. So I'm gonna transition into a character that is shaped, built, and embodies you as an individual. Do you have any guesses?
Mm, Ryu from Street Fighter.
Oh, the close Donkey Kong DK. Donkey Kong is Rico Grande, bro. Listen, this is Rico Grande saying good job. And I'm gonna beat you. And I'm gonna beat you to the joke. I'm gonna beat you to the joke. This is Vapi Chulo right here. Beating you to the joke. Get out of here.
There you go, Diddy Kong for all the people just listening.
Yeah, for other people listening, we do the podcast obviously on the podcast streaming platforms, but then also we post the podcast on the YouTube channel. The cool thing about that is that we typically have things on the screen, and so if you want to join in on us through YouTube, please feel free to do that. The information on the YouTube stuff is just the Horner Plenty Pod, and then it's also somewhere in the description on the podcast if you're listening through streaming platforms. So, listen, Rico Grande and I talk about this all the time. For one Halloween, or maybe we'll start a tradition. Every Halloween, we'll do like a buddy Halloween costume. And so we got Mario and Luigi already lined up. And I think we can now add Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, because I just think that would be funny.
That would be hilarious.
Donkey Kong, man, that was just a really fun game. Donkey Kong, I think, was one of the few video game franchises that did a good job kind of using their side characters and making them main characters. I remember when they released like the first Diddy Kong game, they gave him the little peanut gun, they gave him a little jetpack. Like, that game was just as fun as regular Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is a triple OG. Remember, Donkey Kong used to be throwing barrels at Mario trying to save Princess Peach way back in the day. In Donkey Kong, I used to main Donkey Kong in Smash Bros. Because the trollest thing to do at that time, and it's still pretty troll with the new Smash games, is you would grab somebody, pick them up when you had one more life than they did, and then you just drop them off the map. You kamikaze them, and you win.
There you go.
They also had bomb music, bro. They had a whole rap song for Donkey Kong. You remember that song?
Yes, I have heard it.
Hold on now. I gotta pull this joint up. Here we go. There was the DK rap.
Okay.
Hey, Donkey Kong, hey,
Leader of the bunch.
hey.
You know him well. He's finally back to kick some tail.
Hey.
Coconut gun can fire in spurts. If he shoots ya, it's gonna hurt. He's bigger.
Anyways, come on, man. DK, hey, Donkey Kong, and that bazooka, that coconut cannon was crazy in the game too, man.
Do you remember the Donkey Kong TV show?
Bro, I didn't even know that was a thing, and I bet you it did not do great numbers at all. I guarantee you that joint looked poorly, and oh my god, this looks disgusting. Oh my Jesus, take the wheel. Why did TV.com rate this 8.1 out of 10?
It had some funny episodes.
Oh my god, you could see it for free. That's how garbage this was.
You can find anything for free on the internet.
No. But like Tubi, I guess is okay. Yeah. Not sponsored. Oh, they got this in Spanish. Yo, this came out in the year 2000, bro.
Yeah, I remember watching it.
Bro, they look like the cheap.
El país de Donkey Kong.
Yo, nah, this is funny, bro.
Go.
¿En esta cosa? No lo sé, Donkey. Soy algo nervioso.
Nah, I'm watching this. Yo, I am watching this when I have more quarantine downtime. That's crazy.
Yeah, Donkey Kong TV. It was funny.
That is crazy. Anyways, so Donkey Kong definitely has to be one of my favorite characters.
Okay.
All right, your move.
My move. Next up is a classic. Mm-hmm. I said his name already. It was Ryu from Street Fighter.
Yes.
And you could really throw the entire Street Fighting cast in there. But, I mean, classic games. To me, the best fighting game franchise of all time.
I would agree with you. Like, I don't think it's a really a strong debate, honestly. That's well cemented.
Yeah, I mean, some people might have like Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat versus Marvel vs. Capcom.
Okay, I see Mortal Kombat. I don't see the other one, but yeah.
Yeah.
So Ryu's your favorite character?
I used him just as like the template for all of Street Fighter being up there.
Okay.
Story wise, I mean, it's kind of generic story. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's just a generic guy in a gi
that beats up cars.
Yeah, that beats up cars. But it's funny because there he served as like the base template for like 5 other characters that had basically the same skill set.
Mm-hmm.
So if you play Street Fighter, you could play as Ryu, you could play as Ken,
Mm-hmm.
you could play as Akuma, and they all basically had the same moves except like altered stats. So like Ryu was balanced, medium speed, medium power. Ken was a little bit weaker but more speed, and Akuma had like really low HP, but he would just murder people.
Copy.
So,
Bro,
how do you in fighting games? Do you enjoy fighting games, Vapi Chulo?
I do. I just didn't. I played more adventure, like monster collector, games. Growing up, the thing is that my mom is really religious, right? And so anything that was like somewhat violent was not allowed in the house. It took me like 4 years of negotiation to get her to get me the Pokemon game because what would you think a really religious lady would have to say about cute little monsters like you just catching them.
Evolution?
No, bro, she thought that they were little demons. She
Oh.
thought all of the different Pokemons represented a different demon, and so for the white listeners listening, I know y'all don't understand this because I know black folk y'all got voodoo ancestry, right? So y'all black moms probably was like, yo, don't allow that in my house as well. Latinos know that anything that somewhat looks like demons or witchcraft is not allowed in the house if your mom or dad is super religious. So, the yeah, they she thought they were different devils and demons, and they also fought each other. So it took like 4 years for me to get my first Pokemon game. But you know what? That is a good transition to my next favorite video game character that I don't think anybody's going to see coming. It's
All right.
comes from the Pokemon franchise, and I'm going to go with your rival from Pokemon Red and Blue.
Gary.
You see, so unofficially, like his name is Rival, right? But you know this is meant to be Gary. But the thing is, his name is actually Blue. But his design,
yeah.
his name is actually Blue. But when you grew up, it looked exactly like Gary. Here, you see a picture like they actually do some fun stuff with Blue versus Gary. So
Yeah.
let me tell you, when I tell you Blue is the fire under your butt to make sure you never allow him to talk anything negative about you. Like, Blue was, and granted, this was like probably the second video game I've ever played, made me angry as a kid, bro. I was like, yo, you talk mad crap. I'm in here, I beat you, and you still like this. And honestly, Blue was one of my first introductions because this was prior to me finding anime, with like depth to his characters and consequences for his decision making. One of my favorite things, and this is one of my favorite things because I didn't realize this until like I got way older. Blue starts off the game with a Rattata that evolves into Eradicate. And then when you go to one of the towns with the building with all of the with the is basically a cemetery in a building, you see your rival Blue in there near a tombstone. And then he goes into a whole soliloquy about, listen, this is the turning point. I have to like I could try my hardest without having to I can have a better bond with my Pokemon. And I was like, as a kid, I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm glad that he's turning his ways around. So you saw character growth in that, bro. Why like 10 years later? Because I was a little kid. 10 years later, I find out that he overworked his Raticate so much so that it died. His Raticate died, and he buried it in that building. And that was his character development, bro. I'm like 10, 11 years old.
There was all kinds of theory, like conspiracy theories and weird stuff with the first Pokemon games, like supposedly the music in Lavender Town was driving kids
Oh
crazy.
my god, it was having people commit suicide and banging their head on the walls. That joke was crazy. Supposedly, yeah. That's I don't really think. I do believe that Pokemon episode had a lot of people going to having seizures and stuff. I do believe.
Oh well, there was the one with the Porygon, and it displayed rapidly flashing lights, so like caused a couple epileptic episodes to go off. But yeah, the Lavender Town conspiracy is crazy.
Yeah. So that.
But you know what?
No, what are you gonna say?
You know what someone did, right?
What?
I don't know. I heard it years ago. They made like a trap remix to the Lavender Town theme.
Oh no, we pulling this up.
You listened to it in the gym? I was like, oh man, I'm about to murder these sets.
Remix Lavender Town. Let's see. I'm gonna assume it's the one. Oh, okay. So it's not dubstep. It's trap for sure. Because I have a dubstep one here.
Liberty Mutual, take 96.
Yo, no, we're not sponsored.
You trying to speak these sponsorships into existence?
No, that would an insurance company. All right, let's. Hey, let's give the credit to the person who made this one. Hey,
Kevin, that's trap.
Hold on. Was it this one? Was it that one?
It made me want to, go into a haunted Pokemon maze.
Ooh, I like the way this one sounds. Hey. Ooh. Yo, I'm a sucker for keys, bro. Hey. Alright, let's skip some of this. Ooh. Bro, this is my wrestling entrance, bro. I'm the Undertaker in the ring walking down the ramp to this. Hey, all right, no, that's nice. That's a little too polished for me, though. I like.
You know what I want to see.
What?
And not now. Go back to the YouTube page.
Just like the regular one, or
the one you just had up.
Okay.
Okay, you pause it. Now look down, and for people that are listening, you're gonna have to check out the YouTube for this one. Mm-hmm. That video where it says "reality sad, boom bap 90s beat."
Yeah.
That cartoon face, that whole thing, I'm sure has to be creepy.
Bro, yeah, this art style is creepy. Period. Like, look, I'm already depressed watching this. No, look at it. This is creepy, bro. Good art, don't get me wrong. Like, that's really nice work, but you imagine like watching this with Lavender Town remix in the background? I'm paranoid.
There's a video, an old Mickey Mouse video, and over top they play "Terrified" by Childish Gambino, and it matches up perfectly.
Bro, those Mickey Mouse cartoons back in the day were scary too.
Yeah, he's like running away from ghosts and skeletons and. Cartoons back then were different. Yeah, you couldn't even play that in your house. You would have been slapped silly.
That's a fun, bro. I'm telling you, fam. My mom, anything with like a skull, like when I was growing up, metal chains around your pants was cool, right? And most of them, like what you would do is you would get that with a matching belt, but then skulls were really in. Like, cause they had that's when like Bapes were popping with their hoodies, and then you zip up the sweater all the way up, and you look like a skeleton or a monster or whatever. My mom did not allow anything. We did not celebrate Halloween. Like, it was nothing. My mom didn't even do the cool mom thing. The cool mom thing to do for people who don't, for moms who don't want their kids celebrating Halloween, is to be like, yo, you only want to participate in this because you want candy. I'm gonna get a $5 bag of candy from the 99-cent store, and you could be happy. She even offered that candy up. I mean, we was broke. We was well broke, so I could, as an adult, understand now. But fam, I was sad. You could have get me 2 Snicker bars.
Hey, not me. I was walking around those Ohio streets, bag full of candy.
And then, you know what? And I grew up in New York City. So back in the early 2000s, people were out here doing reckless stuff to candy. There were people snatching up kids. They was putting stuff on candy that shouldn't be there, so kids were dying. Like, so that added more, like, my mom was just really overprotective. Sometimes for good reasons, others just because, like, of nonsense, in my opinion. But, hey, I turned out okay.
Well, it's also understandable. I mean, think about a young Vapi Chulo. He must have been more like 4'7".
No, bro, I've been 5'4" since I was 13, and I ain't telling anybody otherwise, yo. Poverty make you stop growing. Poverty in New York City make you stop growing. Poverty in New York City, when you have 3 siblings and a single mom, fam, the universe be like, bro, I'm sorry. We had plans for you to be 5'7", which is still mad short apparently. But because of the conditions that you are living in, we cannot do this to your mom, bro. You're going to have to fit into your clothes for the next 100 years. So I never grew again. I'm convinced that me being poor, my family being poor, is the reason I stopped growing when I was like 12, 13, F4. It's cool, though. I made the best out of it, man.
What about all the professional athletes that came from poor backgrounds?
Listen, they typically, hey, how many of them actually grow up in metropolitan areas where the smog and the drinking water, right, the fountain water, the sink water is as contaminated as New York City. If you look at most of these NFL players, basketball players, very few of them live in metropolitan areas like that, truthfully. Name any single, we can name the big 15 right now, and probably 1 or 2 of them are from big towns, but big cities. But even then, I just think New York City is a whole, and I'm biased, born and raised, right? But like, I feel like the level of pollution and all of that stuff is way more than other cities.
No, I don't think you guys beat LA.
Oh yeah, because they had that really, but that was late 2000 where that really popped off, though, right? That wasn't early. And then they moved quick.
I think next time you go to New York, go to the Rucker and say, hey, how many of you guys grew up here in New York?
That's fair.
They're like, all of them. How tall are you guys? Oh, we about 6'7".
That's fair. That's fair. You know, maybe I just do this to cope with my insecurities.
Look, I'm just a little man in a big town trying to make it.
Right. This is a big, rich town. Hey, I just come from the poorest parts. All right, anyway.
You're like, I'm short in stature, but my dreams are as big as the tallest skyscraper.
Yo, and look at me now, Mom. Look at quarantine, eating vegan mac and cheese for lunch. Like, look at me.
Vegan mac and cheese.
That's what I threw. I had some vegan mac and cheese. I threw some chili. I threw some vegan chili. It's delicious. I used chow cheese. No, we're not sponsored. Never mind. You didn't hear that. Nobody getting free advertisement. All right. You want us to plug your product? Give us the check. Anyways.
As we talk about some of the biggest franchises of all time.
That's fine. I mean, they don't need our sponsorship. Like, they don't need it. They're very well cemented. All right, Rico Grande. Let's do one more. Give me your next favorite video game character.
Oh man, we've been joking around. I got lost. I got off track. Oh man, there's so many.
All right, I got one while you think about yours. All right.
I'll just say, well, all of the Final Fantasy cast is pretty much up there.
Okay. I like it.
Because that's been my favorite franchise of all time.
I got you. Okay, Rico Grande. This is my
Okay.
transition to my final video game character. Can you remember the first time that you were actually frightened playing a video game?
Mm.
Like you don't even have to like. I don't mean
You mean
like
like a scary game, or like I'm just
anything, bro. Like maybe it doesn't need to be a scary game. It could be like, yo, this villain is wilding. Like I'm kind of scared. That person's OP. Maybe in the game you were playing, there was an ominous noise that happened every time somebody popped up. Like, do you have any of those memories?
oh yes,
All right, name me one.
Street Fighter 2 when you fight against M Bison.
That's fair.
He
That's
is
fair.
super broken. Sega Genesis,
Okay,
ridiculously broken.
bro. I'm gonna share with you my first real memory of a nightmare I had playing a video game as a kid, right? And that character is gonna be Nemesis from the Resident Evil franchise, bro.
Okay.
When I tell you that I was playing Resident Evil is one of my favorite franchises of all time. And when I played Resident Evil for the PlayStation, fam, Nemesis is a scary dude, man. Like, and he's super OP, and I was a young one. Don't ask me how I sneaked that one in the house with my super religious mom. I did though. Got away with it too. I'm gonna tell her during the next Thanksgiving. But bro, when I tell you that Nemesis popped up in my nightmares, like, cause the thing is, Rico Grande, have you ever played Resident Evil? Any of the Resident Evil games?
No.
Okay, so Resident Evil was a very unique game for its time and still is today, in that there's just a lot of random scary elements. So when you save your game, you have to get an ink ribbon. So that's a first problem. If you don't have ink ribbons, you can't save the game. But then you would have to go to the safe room where there's typically a typewriter. And then there's weird ominous music there and you have to type. And so as the game saves, all you hear is...
Gotcha.
So it's scary. The other cool thing about the game is that when you open a door, it basically gives you a 2-second cutscene of just the door opening. It's not even like, in other video games. Like, yo, bro, it's really scary. Like, I'm actually gonna... Let me show you how scary this joint was. I'm gonna pull... And it's probably not gonna be the PlayStation version of it. It's probably gonna be one of the recent ones. But it was just... Oh, there's a top 10 Resident Evil doors. I'm actually gonna watch that later. Here we go. Here's a video of a compilation of opening doors and stuff. So, bro, look.
I see. Very fancy door. It's super slow.
Bro, that's scary. So, in my dream, I'm gonna rewind this so I was probably like 13, right? So in my dream, I opened this door. Nemesis right there, bro. Nemesis was right there, charging at me. I woke up. I said, my man. Like, it was crazy. That joint is scary.
Funny.
And so,
question for you, Vapi Chulo.
What's up?
Now, I know you're telling me all about Resident Evil. Were you a Silent Hill fan as well?
Oh my god, bro. With the pterodactyls and till this day, every time it's real foggy around where I'd be like, yo, this is some Silent Hill stuff, bro.
The music starts playing.
Oh my god. Yo, Silent Hill is probably the only reason I was paranoid about mirrors for a while.
Okay.
Silent Hill, I was out here not looking at my reflection for a while.
There's a lot of good survival horror. There was Resident Evil, Silent Horror. Even later on computer games, they made a game about what's this guy called? He became an internet meme legend. Tall Slender Man.
Yeah.
They made the game about Slender Man.
They made a movie about it too.
Yeah, I heard it was bad.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Well, I think the movie what ended up happening is that there was a child that said that Slender Man told her to kill her friend, and she had stabbed somebody.
Hmm.
And then I think the movie was kind of something about surrounding that. I don't think it was like an actual like Slender Man is the ghost or like the actual villain of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Could be wrong. But then there was also, and I don't think this is the name of it. We say Shutter, whereas like you have a camera that could see the ghosts,
Mm-hmm.
like you're like in a mansion, and the camera has like a certain amount of battery, and you have to like finish the game before the battery runs out.
Yeah, those ones is scary too.
Yeah. Just oh, and then Dead Space and all of the Dead Space sequels.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have one of the Dead Space games. So a little survival horror I've played, but not a lot.
Gotcha. All
I've
right.
seen all the Resident Evil movies.
They stopped getting good after 2, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like there's the infamous scene. One, I give movies a lot of points when there's a super memorable scene, and one of the I think it was in Resident Evil 1, that scene when there's like two officers between two doors, and then the lasers come out and they have to dodge the lasers or else they get sliced up.
Yep.
And then Homeboy thought he had it figured out, and then the laser morphed into like diamonds. Fam,
Yep.
what a great scene.
Yeah. Spoiler alert: he didn't make it.
He did no, not at all. And also, listen, if a movie came out plus 5 years ago, I'm not giving spoiler alerts for anything. Like if you haven't seen it in the last 5 years, you're not seeing it now. So
Was it by the second one that they had the Nemesis character that was in the movie, or was that not until the third
I don't
one?
think was Nemesis even in the movies, bro.
I thought so.
Was Nemesis, I know Nemesis stay in the animated films, so they do a lot of films. Was Nemesis in Resident Evil movies?
I want to say he was in the third one.
I don't know, man. Oh yeah, Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Resident Evil Apocalypse. Let's see how quick. Oh yeah, he's not as scary in the movie as he is in the actual video. He looks stupid. Here, I'm gonna find a freeze frame. Well, a still frame. He is not at all intimidating. Yeah, he is not intimidating at all. But yeah. All right, so look, let's go into the top franchises. You cool with that?
All right. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, and I'm curious to see where Resident Evil is on the list. Right off the bat, Rico, Grande. So for the listeners, we're going to talk about the top video game franchises. Typically, the franchises include not just video game sales, but merchandise, movie adaptations, all of that good stuff. So, Rico Grande, what are some of your guesses for what's on the top?
Top, I'd say you probably got something like Mario,
Yep.
Pokemon,
Yep.
Call of Duty,
Oh, absolutely.
Madden,
Oh, I didn't even think about the sports franchises.
2K.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean those are probably the biggest ones I could think of. The sports ones,
Okay.
and Mario, Pokemon.
So, I'm going to pull up a list. I will say that if you pull up some different list, they will switch their 1, 2, and 3 spots consistently. So we're gonna try to provide you every variation that we can find, because who knows who's telling the truth. So when we look at this first one, it breaks it down to at least. And again, if you're listening through a streaming platform on the YouTube channel, we have this stuff popped up. So it says at least 100 million copies sold. So this is just video games. Okay, this is not franchise. It's just the video game portion of it. You have Mario at number 1 with $639.91 million.
Wow.
How you feel about that?
I thought it would be the highest grossing.
Yeah.
I mean, because as a franchise, it came out in the 80s.
Yep. It says July 9, 1981 is the original release date.
So it's been rolling for almost 40 years.
Uh-huh.
I mean, just the time frame of it. I mean, Pong would have to have had a massive run. I mean, it's just older than everything, and it's still being made into games all the way until today. So I could easily see Mario as number one.
Okay. Number 2, unsurprising to me, is Pokemon at 362.6 million.
Okay.
Let me tell you why this is unsurprising to me. This game came out in '96, so Mario came out 15 years prior to this. So that's a 15-year like just advantage, right? But then also, this is just video game sales. Monster Collector video games were really popping. This was like the first real big one. I don't know whether Monster Rancher came out prior or a little bit after, but no matter what, Pokemon was way more popular than Monster Rancher, even though that was a really good game. So I'm not surprised at this coming in at number 2 based off of just video game sales alone.
Agree. I mean, and it had the benefit of having the cartoon, the movie, the card game. It was just kind of all encompassing.
Yeah. For sure, when you look at franchises, I have an infographic for you to see. But, again, not even spoiled, like, Pokemon as a franchise nets way more money than Super Mario. As a franchise.
Gotcha.
Moral of the story, Nintendo is making a lot of money.
Yes.
Then you have, they separated Mario from Super Mario, which is understandable. That was really official in 1985, and so that was 344.38 million netted off of just the video games alone. Rico Grande, you were right at 4. Call of Duty comes in.
Yeah.
Says 3.
Never owned one.
Never owned? Oh, what?
Yeah, I've played it, but I was never very big into shooting games.
Gotcha.
I was much more of a RPG fan.
Gotcha. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Grand Theft Auto. We didn't mention Grand Theft Auto. That's huge.
So yeah,
I think I think one of the Grand Theft Autos actually holds one of the records on top 15 most of one video game sold, and I think that's reflected on one of the lists that we have coming up soon.
Okay, I would imagine that's either 4 or 5.
Right. FIFA, bro. FIFA makes more sense than 2K or the football games, because that's the universal sport, so that does make sense.
True. I always forget how big soccer is around the world.
Yeah.
But basketball's coming close. It's right behind soccer now.
Is it? Oh yeah, because in countries with high poverty rates, like you could just get a $5 basketball, a cheap basketball, and then tie a basket to a tree and play basketball. So sports that require less money to play and set up typically are the ones that are adopted universally. That's why soccer, I mean, all you need is a ball. Essentially, if you don't have the nets, you don't have the nets. Like, you could just do whatever. So that makes sense. Football can never be one of those universal sports. It's just it's too expensive, bro. That joint's too expensive, bro. The pads, no football, bro. Oh, but I mean like official football, like with the pads and the helmet.
Well, yeah,
and getting 20 to 30 people.
Oh, you go run 4-on-4 or 5-on-5.
Yeah, but, I don't think that's this one.
Yeah, that's not as fun. We used to do it growing up, grade school recess.
Yeah. Final Fantasy. Whoa, that's surprising to me. Final Fantasy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 I thought that would be I
Hey,
thought that would be higher, but I'm glad it made the top 10.
yeah.
That's interesting. All right, let's look at a different list that I have. Um,
I
see,
am a little sad though that Tetris and The Sims and Minecraft be Final Fantasy.
yeah,
Like
that's
Tetris is
odd.
it's a puzzle.
I also don't think these are super accurate. This is just the data that we have to work with. Here's the top 50 highest grossing video game franchises. And again, this encompasses all the things that Rico Grande mentioned: the movies, the merchandise, the TV shows, the shirts, everything. And again, unsurprisingly, Pokemon is right there at 9. Is that even 90 billion? Yeah, that's 90 billion. That's unsurprising, bro. You have the Pokemon the stores. There's a couple of Pokemon stores that exist around the world, not just the country, the world. You got the very successful games. You got look, Pokemon merchandise is just nicer to get than Mario merchandise, in my opinion. You have over 1,000 monsters. You pick your favorite one. You get the plushie. You call it a day. You get the backpack. You watch the movie. Mario had a movie that didn't quite work out. Mario, I think it's impossible to make a good Mario movie. However, I would say that I thought the Sonic movie was gonna be trash, and people actually enjoyed it, and I watched it, and I enjoyed it for what it was as well.
Oh, yeah, Sonic movie was very fun.
So what's your
That's
yeah? Go right ahead.
So I'm looking at the list, and a couple of things are just really interesting.
Talk about it.
So, like, we have Call of Duty, which is, that all has to be games.
At number 3, we have Call of Duty at number 3 for the people not
Like,
seeing.
I don't know what kind of merch you sell, a replica helmet or a gun. I don't know.
That's fair. I mean, was Call of Duty one of the first microtransaction games? Because that
Uh,
may be it. Because Mario doesn't have microtransactions like that, nor does
I
Pokemon.
I can remember some microtransactions in Madden games.
Okay.
Who do you know who produces Call of Duty? Because I know EA
It's
was
is it
what
Sledgehammer? Let's see. So you're asking the people who like are in charge of creating the game?
yeah, like the production. I know that the EA brand, whatever umbrella that they're on, was I don't know if they were the first, but they were the one who took the most advantage of microtransactions in games.
So the publisher is Activision.
Okay, it was probably after microtransactions in like sports games.
And it looks like the developers was Activision, Treyarch, and Infinity Ward. Those are the notable ones. There's a couple more down there that typically work with just the side projects, but the main people are Activision and Treyarch.
Gotcha.
But so for the people just listening, Pokemon's at number 1 at 90 billion. Mario's at number 2 at 30 billion 250 million. Call of Duty 17.
Now I'm surprised that Street Fighter comes in at 8 above Final Fantasy.
Why? I think people
Well,
I think people enjoy fighting games more than RPG as a collective. Like
I would say that's true. The only reason that I would say Final Fantasy is that Final Fantasy has had a lot more games.
oh, absolutely.
So they've had more games, which means more characters. They do have several characters that could be very easily made into like plush toys, like
Right.
little cactars. I don't know if you know the series or not.
No, I do. Like
Like
I would cop a Chocobo.
like a chocobo, a mog,
Mm-hmm.
cactar.
Mm-hmm.
Like Street Fighter doesn't really have. I mean, you can make action figures out of them, and there's been a couple of Street Fighter movies. There's been a couple of Final Fantasy movies.
Right.
So I mean, and they're very. I mean, they're close-ish. About a billion separating them.
Mm-hmm.
So I just would have thought that since there's just so much more to make from one franchise, that it would be on top.
You know
Like
why? Oh no, keep going. My bad.
no, because like I'm looking down at the list, like Crossfire. I don't even know what that is.
Me either.
Like some of them like Lineage. I don't know. Monster Strike. There's a lot that I'm not just too aware of. Arena of Valor.
Oh, Candy Crush is on here at 27.
Yeah, you want to talk about microtransactions?
Yeah.
People suck at puzzles.
That's the king. Oh, Resident Evil's on here at 34. That's good. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's interesting, and I'm not surprised at. What was I not surprised at? Pac-Man's here at number 5, and Space Invaders is here at number 6. That's not surprising to me because I think about arcade games.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking now that you said Pac-Man and Space Invaders, is that all the arcades that actually had the physical machines.
Yeah.
Street Fighter was an arcade game as well.
Okay.
So if you're looking at all of the arcades across the country, with all of the arcade machines plus all of those games once they came out on console, that would be a significant amount of money, I would imagine.
Yeah. I would agree with you.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that if you scroll down, like I have never heard of some of these games.
Me either.
Like Fantasy Westward Journey. No, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, I think this proves the. Oh my God, Mortal Kombat's number 50? Well, that makes sense because I mean, like, not everybody was out here trying to fatality people.
Yeah. It was funny when it first came out. Well, I played Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis, and my cousin had to introduce the cheat code for blood.
Yeah.
It wasn't standard. Like people think about how violent Mortal Kombat was, and then the original, like you had to put in the code for it.
Right. All right, let's go into now we have the Gamer article. This was released in 2017, so it's only as recent as 2017. So this one's top 15 highest grossing video game franchises of all time. Let's see if it's kind of relates to what we've been talking about. The Pro Evolution Soccer series is at 15. They don't even have numerical value. Oh, yeah, they do. It's on the top. So 86.8 million units sold. We're just going to scroll down quicker. Assassin's Creed at 93 million. There's a ton of those games. Madden NFL, this is one of your picks, at 99 million. That means 2K's coming up. Lego at 100 million. Kids, I understand that.
That's hilarious that Lego beats Madden. I never would have thought that one.
FIFA at 11. Well, then I don't think 2K's on this list then if FIFA's 11.
Yeah, probably not.
So FIFA 100 million. That's surprising. Oh, well, this is 2017. You said that basketball is like starting to get the number 2 spot. So maybe if in a couple of years you'll see.
Yeah, 2K has grown very much more recently. But
here's Final Fantasy at number 10 spot. That's actually consistent, right? The last one had it at 10 as well, I think.
Yeah, pretty consistent so far.
Okay, 130 million for Final Fantasy. Tetris, that's consistent with the other list. 140 million units sold. Need for Speed, that's a curveball.
Yeah.
At 150 million. I guess fast cars is a universal thing as well.
Well, racing games were always pretty popular for some. Like if you would always look at like some of the top selling games, like when they would come out, there would always be a racing game at the top.
I wonder if that's the case today. Like I feel like nobody really plays racing games today, other than Mario Kart.
Yeah, but for a long time, like it would be like Need for Speed and Gran Turismo was super popular.
Right. All right, so that's number 8. Number 7, The Sims. I could see that 175 million. The Wii, like all of the Wii Sports, everything.
This one to me, I feel shouldn't be on the list.
Well, how so? Why?
And that's because when you bought a Wii, it it came with Wii Sports. So basically, when we're looking at all these games and we look at the Wii series, that's basically the number of Wii units sold.
That's like how artists bundle a gift to go with concert tickets to account
Yeah.
for an album sale. Yeah. Now I feel you on that. I didn't think about it that way.
So that'd be like if like the PS2 had something that came with it, it would be number one.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. And this article even like mentions it. The first installment of Wii Sports was released in '06 as a bundled game with Nintendo Wii, and so
Yeah.
that when they released Wii Sports 2, people were already so familiar with it. They enjoyed it so much that they went off and got Wii Sports 2. And so if you just there's no way that this 203 million. You're right, Rico Grande. There's no way 203 million is based off of Wii Sports 2. They must have counted that as anybody who bought a Wii. Interesting.
Yeah.
Not surprising either. A Grand Theft Auto at 220 million.
Very big.
Call of Duty, again, one of your picks, number 4. Pokemon, here we go. So now we're hitting the top 3. And so, number 3 is Pokemon at 295 million. This is as of 2017. Remember, this article is 2017. Then you know what? I was surprised at the lack of Sonic on the other list.
Yeah, I feel for merchandise and stuff, it really died out in the later 90s. I mean, like the Sonic franchise Prime was on the Sega.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sonic 2, Sonic and Knuckles,
Right.
All of those games. Once it became, it moved into the 3D.
Mm-hmm.
A lot, and I don't want to say that there are any bad Sonic games because I haven't played a lot of them, but the hype around them it changed.
Yeah.
It didn't adapt to a 3D model the same way that Mario did.
Oh, I feel that. That makes sense. And then, unsurprisingly, then number 1, Mario with 575 million. Again, this article came out in 2017.
Oh.
Says today, Mario has sold over, again, today as in 3 years ago, Mario has sold over 500 million copies worldwide, from his adventures to save Princess Peach from another castle in his Super Mario Bros. Games to his cutthroat on the tennis court and racetrack, blah, 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 blah. Cool. I don't think there were any huge surprises.
No, nothing big really. I think we could have, if we just sat down, we could have came up with at least 70% of that list.
Oh, we should have done that. Oh well, hindsight is 2020.
Yeah.
All right, Rico Grande, what else you want to talk about? I think we covered everything. I mean, we can go. I could try to find a list of single unit selling games if you want to talk more.
Oh no, that's fine. I mean, one thing that's not on the list, something that's a little bit not as trackable. This is all subjective. Is favorite video game soundtracks.
Oh, Final Fantasy's up there, right?
Oh, to me, it's basically my whole list.
I think that would be number. Would that be my number 1 on video game soundtracks? I know people are gonna say Legend of Zelda has to be up there. I wouldn't give it the number 1. I think I give that a Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, because there's a lot of Zelda games, and there's a lot of multiple game entries for anything that's gonna rank highly on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if I were to put up top 10 Final Fantasy themes,
mm-hmm.
or songs, and I put it up against the top 10 for any other franchise, I don't think it's close at all.
Yeah.
Because, Zelda may have one or two themes that are really nostalgic or known, and Mario is going to have a few themes. But I mean, on any given Final Fantasy game, you have maybe one or two really good themes.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, they would win. Second on my list would be Kingdom Hearts.
Oh just based off of When You Walk Away in Sanctuary, like, yeah, based off of those two alone. But yeah, the OSTs on that, aside from the big ones, are great as well.
Yeah, and then you have Dearly Beloved from Final Fantasy, which just plays at the end. You have I can't think of the name, but the very last one had a couple other tracks that were very good as well. So very hard to beat those. And like the composers of those, it's not just like a random guy that was like, okay, put this together. Like, he's the world-renowned composer.
Rico Grande, I think I want you to close the podcast episode, but when you do prepare for that, I'm gonna play probably top 5 on this category that you just mentioned of best music, best OSTs on a video game. All right. So
all right,
I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to prep your closing, and then again, this is undebatable. No one can dispute this. Wait, were you gonna say something before I get in my bag?
No, go ahead.
All right, undisputable top 5. Hey! Woo! All right, close the show on Rico Grande.
So as you listen to the Donkey Kong rap, know that Donkey Kong is actually the second best video game rapper after Parappa the Rapper.
Oh, for sure. Hey.
And with that fact, I wish you a good week. Thank you for listening to the Horn of Plenty podcast. See you next time.
Peace.